This is just 1 year of the Boston Marathon, and I wanted us to see if we can actually draw a lesson from that. And we saw how an entire state was shut down looking for just two brothers, and we saw what finally happened. So it tells you that some of these things are possible if we have an awareness program already in place, an awareness culture, so that when you shut down an entire town, the security people as well as the citizens are all on the same page. But we haven't actually worked towards that, have we?
From my point of view, the problem I personally seems to be having, it's not as if we don't have awareness program which we're supposed to have launched about 3 years ago, if we want it to work by now. We have that in place. We also put in place a program called Security Orientation for average Nigerian, which we want to use to cut across. But the problem we seem to be having is that we don't have people who can listen in government. If I put it this way, to bring threat to security of lives and properties to an end is something that is achievable in 6 months by Nigerians, within Nigerians, without spending billions of dollars.
6 months.
It is possible if we start today.
Why do you say 6 months?
I'm an expert in the field.
Okay.
I know what ought to have been done that has not been done.
Tell us some of it.
One of them is awareness. When HIV was about to destroy Africa, something was done. Awareness was created. When I was a teenager, I don't even know what a condom looked like. The first time I saw one, I did not know that it was a condom. I thought it was something like a sweet inside it before somebody said, "Where did you get that from?" And I got punished in the school. Awareness was created. Ministry of Health went out. World Health Organization went out. And it was a universal thing. And it went across. So an average teenager who is reaching poverty now know that aid is real. And the advert is still ongoing today. Why are we not doing the same in the area of security of lives and properties? Do you know what exactly to do if you find a bomb in your waste being disposed outside now? Do you know exactly, does your security men out there know what to do?
So it goes beyond them telling us it's our collective, we have a duty collectively to play.
Yes. It goes beyond that. So we need to create an awareness program. We need to start a reorientation program. You cannot build a tower on a faulty foundation.
But again, sorry, the orientation and awareness should be all-inclusive for the agencies as well as the people. Because sometimes, even now you're talking about the people, what about a security agent who still can't actually decipher between what some explosives look like or what to do when you get to a scene of a crime?
As an expert, I don't see the difference between a civilian and I will not put a policeman and yourself in a separate quota when it comes to educating people about, if you are careless with the way you go about your sexual activities, you can catch HIV. So also is the Honorable Minister for Health, if he's careless about the way he handles it. So the adverts, the campaign,
it's
the
for everyone.
Awareness is for everyone. So if I'm going to roll out an awareness program, I'm actually first going to start with the security forces. Don't forget, the moment they take off their uniform, they are also members of the public. We have a lot of things in common. Grand use. It is the same route you use from here to your house that a colonel in the army will travel from his house. If he leaves, many of them are facing, if an armed robber wants to rob a house now, the house of a policeman or the house of a military man is one of the best for them. Why? They may not find money, but there's possibility of finding a pistol, a service pistol that somebody brought him after overpowering him. So that man needs to be educated as well. So there is no difference. I'm talking about Nigerian as a whole. Is there no carelessness on the part of, why are police stations being attacked by members of the terrorists successfully? Why were they able to go into a barrack in Bama and took 52 members of the family of armed forces member away? Why was the first headquarter security compromised and breached? It is because this type of reorientation and awareness are not in place by people.
Those who are in security.
In security. So if I'm able to change the orientation and boost the awareness of about 380,000 policemen today, and I'm able to repeat the same thing in all sectors of the armed forces, and I'm able to put the same thing in place in every ministry.
But if
coming down to state, coming down to the local government, these people are likely to go back home and teach 11 other people.
If they're able
each
to,
of them.
if they're able to attack those formations,
yes,
who are supposed to be protecting the citizens,
yes,
successfully,
yeah.
What does that tell the citizens?
I don't think, well, it will send an alarming signal to the citizens, but it's not only in Nigeria. The army base in the Afghanistan today in the newspaper has been infiltrated by a Nigerian. Check the Punch. A Nigerian was in Afghanistan and was able to impersonate the U.S. Marine.
That's not in
So-
all. That's not in all cases. Is
No,
it?
no, in all
So
cases.
what
But how many
about-
times have their own base? So I wouldn't want you to see this as a major problem in Nigeria alone.
There's a tendency for us to keep focusing on those maybe the loopholes that seem to have been cashed in on by those other agencies. But we may be quick, some of them, to jump and look at those as examples. What about the fantastic examples? Why can't we jump to all of those ones? Why can't we say
we cannot jump to all of those one on a faulty foundation, like I said earlier on.
in spite of the
There is
huge
something.
amount of allocation for security?
Don't let us go.
Doesn't it all add up?
It all add up, but you are looking at the financial sector and the corruption which is facing the country, which is a different ball game entirely. Do you understand? I don't want to mix that
The
up
financial sector? No, not the
So I'm sorry,
financial.
I'm talking about the financial situation of the country.
Isn't it as a result of this kind of killings that we're allocating more money to security so that we can all be safe?
It is possible for you to spend huge amount of money on the wrong thing and end up having the wrong result. Do you agree with me on that? So I don't want to be quick. I don't want to be quick to say that all the money that the federal government have spent to fight terrorism or to fight threat to security of lives and property has been wrongly spent. It is not my field. And I don't like going into something that is not within
But
my
doesn't
field.
it raise questions? I mean, these are the kind of times that we raise questions as to lessons learned from previous attacks. These are the times that we also raise questions as to the amount of money that we're spending and whether or not we're getting results for it.
I don't know if you are able to tell me how many attacks we've had this year. This month alone. I want to be careful in saying that the money has not been well
By
spent.
how many attacks? Are you talking about?
I'm talking about daily.
Are you talking about robbery incidences, kidnapping incidences? Are you going to be including that? Because I would think that they will come under security, and these things are reported on a daily basis.
Yes.
So if that is the case, I mean, are we looking at what is happening in the states where emergency have been declared? Are we looking at kidnapping, robbery? Are we looking at the random terrorist attacks here and there? Are we looking at the Fulani herdsmen, so-called Fulani herdsmen, and local crisis that we have in Plateau, in Taraba, in Kogi, and some other parts of north-central Nigeria? Are we looking at those ones as well? Would they be under what you'll be looking at in terms of attacks?
What I'm responding to here this morning is the blast at Abuja, the recent blast at Abuja. And I think I'm trying to remain focused on that. Notwithstanding, if Boko Haram drop their weapon today and say, wave white flags, the Fulani herdsmen attack situation is something that through nice and good analysis, I realized that it's going to be a formidable situation than Boko Haram. Why? Looking at the level of their attack and the way they are coordinated, they're going to wreak havoc if they are not curbed. So when we say security of lives and properties, and you want me to respond to that, on the issue of awareness and reorientation campaign for the whole country to move everybody along, that will take care of everything as a whole. Do you understand? It will include you training your children on how not to be kidnapped, how not to speak to stranger. It will be you taking your children to school and do an assessment of the security men at the gate of your children's school to know whether your child is safe. I registered my daughter in a school which is very closer to my house, thinking the proximity was okay. But because I was able to enter the school wearing shorts, knicker and slippers without anybody challenging me on 4 different occasions, I decided not to go ahead. I realized that anybody can enter this school at any time. It is because I have security orientation and security awareness. It is my job